Good morning. Hi, everybody. Welcome to your best beautiful year goal setting challenge. This is a 4-video series that I am so excited to bring you. Today is the first day, video number 1. So we're going to do a little bit of an introduction to why I love goal setting and why I think it's so important. And then we're going to dive into day 1 and talk all about the first step. So I'm really happy you're here. I will be using some notes that I created, and actually if you would like to have the notes, just go to yourbestbeautifulyear.com, give us your email address, and we will send you, first of all, the videos in order so you don't have to frantically take notes today. And then by the end of the week, we will have this ready for you as a download, or by the first of next week. I'm not sure. I'm still working on it. So this is my 4th year, I think, to do this here on Facebook, and I'm really excited about it. Good morning. Hi, everybody. So good to see you. If you're watching on the replay, so good to see you too. So here's the thing that I want to start with. First of all, if you're watching on the replay page later, you might not be able to do this, but if you're here with us live, what I would love to know is, are you a goal setter or not? And there's no shame either way, because I hope by the end of this, I'm going to convince you of why you should do it, even if you don't like it, and even if traditional goal setting kind of turns you off. So I would love to know if you are or not. Goal setter, not goal setter. Again, no judgment either way, because I'm hoping to convince you of why it might be beneficial. So we are just about to start a brand new decade. Maybe if you're watching this in a week or two or a month or two, we've already started the brand new decade. So here's to a new year and here's to a new decade. It's my favorite thing, you guys. Maybe it's my favorite thing because my birthday is January 4th, and I've always loved this time of year. I've always loved goal setting. So, but I would love to know if you do or not, because I'm hoping we can convince you. The other thing that I want to ask you to do is share this with your friends. Whether or not they are goal setters, there is going to be some jewels and gems dropped in this training that your people need. So share this video out with your friends and family. This is a great time of year to talk about it too. Everybody's kind of thinking about it and talking about it. Or if you're like me, you still have your Christmas decorations up, and I'm like a traditional Lutheran, and we celebrate the 12 days of Christmas that start on Christmas Day. So I believe it's the 5th day of Christmas. So we leave our stuff up till Epiphany, which is January 6th. But whether or not you still have your Christmas stuff up and are still living in your jammies every day, which I have been, we want to welcome you here. So why is this important? We're facing a new year. We're facing a new decade. And my question for you is this: what is keeping you from living your full potential? What is keeping you from loving and serving at the highest level? So really, my goal with everything I do is to help women, especially, rewrite their stories so that they can love and serve at the highest level. That's going to be a different level for each of us, but are you loving and serving at your highest level? And if not, why not? I have some suspicions that I know why, but I would love to know if you feel like, yeah, I just get stuck. I can't quite get there. I feel like I'm always, 3 steps behind. If you feel like you're struggling in an area of your life that you would love to get some victory over, then let us know what it is. But here are some reasons that people get stuck. You're stuck in the past. Past resentments, past failures, bitterness. Your brain loves to keep you stuck in the past. I was stuck in the past for so long because I felt so justified to be stuck in the past. And I felt like I was doing some sort of justice to the people who had done me wrong if I held on to that bitterness and held on to that anger and resentment. And what I finally realized a few years ago, that the only person that past was poisoning is me. I wasn't having any effect on the people who I felt like had done me wrong or whatever. The only person I was hurting was me. And if you are stuck in the past and you have a story that's very painful, but you keep holding on to it like me, I want you to know that there is hope. I want you to know that you can move past your past. Your brain doesn't want you to. And the reason why is because your brain is a pro at the past. Your brain is so good at reminding you of the story of how you were done wrong and how such and such needs to pay and maybe even reminding you of all your past failures. Your brain loves to do that because it conserves energy, because it's way easier than you thinking new thoughts, than you trying new things, than you setting goals. So your brain loves to keep you stuck in a loop of the past. So anybody who's stuck in a loop of the past this morning, I would love to know. Let me know by a virtual hand raise or just say yes in the comment box. Some of you are stuck in fear. Some of you have a fear of failure. You think if you try something and it doesn't work, it means something terrible about you. I'm about to tell you 2 epic failures of mine from goals that I set last year, and then you can decide if they're really failures. So if you have this fear of failure, this fear of rejection, this fear of man, what other people are going to think if you actually go and do that thing. If you're plagued by fear, stuck in fear, I would love to help you out of that. You are not alone. A lot of us stuck in self-doubt, stuck in fear of rejection, stuck in fear of failure. And here's the thing. Again, your brain loves this because if your brain can keep you stuck here, it doesn't have to do anything new. It doesn't have to be creative. It doesn't have to be disciplined. It doesn't have to think new thoughts or do new things. It loves to stay where it is. It loves to keep you right where you are. So your brain is going to resist change because it's so much easier to stay where you are. Some of you, I'm not going to mention any names, although I've struggled with this myself. Some of you are stuck in the thinking, I've always been this way. I've always been overweight. I've always struggled with finances. I've always struggled in relationships. I always choose the wrong guy. I've never been able to make my business work. Whatever it is that you keep telling yourself over and over again, I want you to ask yourself, is that message serving you? Is it motivating you to the life you really want, to the life you know you're capable of? Or is it keeping you stuck where you are? I promise you, if you start your sentences with, well, I've just always, or I've just never, this is just the way I am. Here's the thing. We're going to break up with who we are. And really, in order to make lasting change, you have to be willing to put to death all of those thoughts. You have to be willing to put to death that person that believes that and thinks that and is stuck there. You really have to be willing to question it. Is it serving you to move into the place you need to move in your life so that you can love and serve at the highest level that's possible for you? Some of you didn't make as much progress as you wanted to last year. How many of you set some goals last year and it didn't quite work out? I'm about to tell you the 3 big ones that I set and the 2 of them that I didn't achieve. And here's the thing, you guys. Some of you are not going to set any more goals this year because you didn't do it last year. I hope I can help you reconsider that. I hope I can help you reinterpret what it means that you didn't get as far as you wanted to get. Maybe your goal was to lose 50 pounds and you lost 5 and then you gained 3 of those back. Now, let me tell you something. When I was a practicing physician, I helped people make lifestyle change. I helped people lose weight. I helped people stop smoking. I helped people with addictions. And here's what I know to be true about people who actually accomplish their goals. They accomplish it after the 11th time trying, or the 13th time trying, or the 8th time trying. But the one thing that's consistent about people who actually get where they want to get in life is they just don't give up. They don't make the failure mean, well, I've just always been this way, I guess I'll always be this way. They're really careful about how they interpret the failure. If you're trying to quit smoking and you're on your 7th try and it doesn't work, you can just throw in the towel and say, well, it just didn't work for me. Or you could realize that you're 3 tries away from actually doing it. And that is the truth. So be careful what you make it mean that, well, I always set goals, but I never follow through. How many of you say that? Some of you have already said that. Already in this trading, you're like, yeah, I try, but it just never seems to work out. That's because you make the failure mean something about you, and then you just stop trying. So I also hope that I can convince you that that's not a good strategy either. Here's why I think goal setting is a worthy endeavor. Here's why I think it's actually how we're hardwired by God to function. We need something to aim at. For those of you who like Jordan Peterson, like I do, he has a whole chapter on this. He actually has a whole podcast on the necessity of aim, why we need something to aim at. And there's a lot of psychology behind it and actually a lot of good studies behind why we need it. But let me just tell you what I see as one of the most important reasons we need it. Because your brain is going to be busy doing something. And if you don't tell it what you want it to focus on and what you want it to think, here's what it's going to do. It's going to try to protect you by looking for everything in your environment that's wrong. It's going to start picking apart your spouse. It's going to start finding negative things to focus on that are wrong at work. You're going to look around your house and go, this is all wrong. I hate this house. I hate this whatever. I hate this, all of it. It's going to find something to focus on. So when you set a goal and when you decide what you want your life to be about, it gives your brain something productive to do. And it needs something productive to do. Because it's going to spin in negativity. It's going to spin in all the things that are wrong with you and all the reasons why this never works for you. It's going to find all kinds of things to spin in that are not going to serve you. So if you haven't been a traditional goal setter, I get it. I think a lot of what's out there, by the time we get to the end of this week, you're going to go, I'm not sure if I'm in for her whole goal setting thing, because what you're going to learn by the end of this is that the goals really don't matter. It's who you become in the process. Because right now, there are people out there who already weigh your goal weight, who already have mastered their finances and have a bunch of money sitting in the bank, who already got their fitness under control, got their PRs at the gym, they already got their dream job. And guess what? A lot of them are just as miserable as they were before they lost the 40 pounds or saved the $10,000 or whatever. And the reason for that is if you don't change this head and this heart, none of the other stuff matters. It's not actually better there than here. It's not better at 40 pounds less than here, unless you learn to see your life differently. And when you learn to see your life differently, the way you approach goal setting and the habits of your life and the actions that you take in your life and the way you choose to think about your life, the way you approach it is so different that the goals will almost be an afterthought, because you're training your heart and mind to be in alignment with the way God created you. So I want to ask you again, are you living your life in a way that allows you to love and serve at the highest level? And if you're not, it's really worthwhile to take a hard look at it. It's really worthwhile to decide, I don't want to be stuck in my past. I don't want to be stuck in this bitterness. I don't want to be stuck, always in fear of what people think of me or whatever. And so goal setting gives your brain something really important to do. And the end result of that is not that you get to brag because you're 40 pounds lighter, or because now you have $10,000 in the bank, or because you finally got that job, or because your business finally took off. No, what you get at the end of that is a person who is in love with their life, a person who loves and serves at the highest level, a person who is on fire to see the needs of others and meet them, a person who is not so stuck in their own issues with their own baggage that they can't see the people in front of them who need them. So this is goal setting maybe like you've never experienced it before. And I hope so. And I think it's important because I really do believe that our brains need something productive to do. Here's the thing, you guys. If you meet someone today, and you will, I bet, you meet someone at the office where you work, maybe you meet somebody in your own house, you meet somebody on the street, you meet somebody at the gym, and they're full of negativity, and they're full of resentment, and all they can do is complain about their life, and complain about their job, and complain about their people. Here's what I promise you. That person is full of cynicism. And I can almost guarantee you that they don't have their heart set on the person they want to become. They haven't set any big goals, because if they really were working towards something like that, something that gives them a reason to get out of bed in the morning, then they would be focused on that. And how can I become that person? Instead of focusing on everything that's wrong in their life, everything that's wrong with the people in their life. Which brings us to step 1. So, your best beautiful life, in your best beautiful year, I should say, in 4 simple steps. We're going to cover the first step today. We talked about what keeps you from your full potential. Step 1, be where you are. Be where you are. Now, I have something important to tell you about my goals from last year. So here's what happened. I set basically 3 big goals. The first goal that I set was to write my second book. So I hired a book coach and had the book written by the end of January. I hired the book coach in December. I hired the book coach, I think, the last day of November. I got acquainted and all that in December. I basically wrote the book in January. I finished the last chapter, and I was so excited because setting a goal like that to write a book, I had the idea all in my heart, but it took a lot of discipline. I remember sitting by my fire. I would get up at 4 or 5 in the morning. I would write like crazy for 3 or 4 hours. I had a schedule, I'm going to do chapter 1 and 2, on this day. And then on this day, I'm going to do chapter 3. I had it all figured out. I was so proud of myself. I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be the best year ever because I've already mastered one of my big goals. I was so proud of myself. On January 20th, so my other 2 big goals were to get to the next rank in Young Living and to pay off my mortgage. You guys, I miserably failed at those 2 things. Epically. Not even close. Now, I have the opportunity today to decide what that means. But let me tell you some more to the story. Almost to the day that I finished writing my second book, we got a call that Thomas's great-grandmother had passed away. And we knew what that meant. That meant we were about to take on a little 6-year-old boy who was full of hurt and full of grief and full of loss and full of pain. And it changed everything about their trajectory of my year. I canceled my life. I canceled everything. I canceled every class. I literally canceled my life so that I could step in to his life and into his pain and into his grief. And it has been the hardest year I can remember. So hard. But also so incredibly amazing. I sent my first big chunky payment to the mortgage company at the 1st of January. And I think I sent 2 more after that. And then in March, Stevie woke up one morning and couldn't see in his right eye. He had gone blind in his right eye. And everything changed again. The bottom fell out. Like, what are we going to do? Is he going to be able to work? What's going to happen? And I just, for lack of a better word, I just buried myself with my family. I didn't build my business. I didn't care about the mortgage anymore. None of it mattered. What mattered is, can I be there for the people who need me most in the way that they need me to be there? How can I love and serve them at my highest level, even though it feels like my life is on fire, even though it feels like the bottom just fell out of everything? And I have to say that in light of what has happened in my life, none of the goals that I set ever really matter. What matters is, am I willing to become the person that can sacrifice for other people? Am I willing to deal with my own baggage enough? Am I willing to stop spinning in negativity? Am I willing to stop complaining long enough to really be where I am? So when I tell you this morning, be where you are, I know how hard that is. Some of you lost everything this year. And being where you are feels really painful. And it feels wrong. It feels like something went wrong, right? It feels like this is not, how can this be my life? I know that so many of us feel that way. When I say be where you are, what I mean is, don't try to change anything until you can come to a place where you truly love your life exactly the way it is. Where you begin to see it with new eyes. You begin to see that this was always the way it was supposed to be. That this is exactly what God has for you. That He is for you. That everything that has happened to you is for you. Because He is cultivating something in you that only this heartache can cultivate. And when we really can be where we are with deep appreciation, because here's what happens. This is what I think can be the downside of goal setting. We can look at what we want to achieve and we can get a little bit entitled about it. Like, I should have a life that blah, blah, blah. Steve and I, before, in the fall and winter, before we took Thomas into our home, I remember sitting at dinners with him and our girls were out doing their teenage things and at dance or with friends or whatever. We were living the life, y'all. We were going out to dinner. We were talking about being empty nesters. We're like, you know what? We'll pretend like we're sad, but this is going to be amazing. It was just the two of us for months at night. And I remember being so excited. Like, this is going to be so cool. Like, I thought this was going to be the end of me. We have this daughter graduating and going to college, and it felt like it was going to be the end of the world. But I can see that God is so tender, and he's going to give us this new season in our marriage. And I was so excited about it, you guys. I had like visions of how we would travel and how I might change the way that I work. And we just had all these grand like dreams and plans. And then God gave us the gift of a 6-year-old who was grieving and angry, who had outbursts, who never listened to what I said, who told me he hated me and he wanted his mom back. And it felt like the end of a dream. I'm just going to be honest. And I remember thinking, why did you do that, God? Like, why did you give us this glimpse of something that you were just going to take away? And I went through this period of kind of like unbelief where I don't know if I trust you. I don't know if I like this new thing that you're doing. I don't know if this is what I envisioned for myself right before my 50th birthday. Like, I don't know. And the work that he did in my heart this year, I have been broken and remade in a way that I can't remember the last time that I have been through such a painful personal transformation. But I can tell you that I have learned to be where I am. That I have learned to look at every single thing as exactly what he needs for me to have, even if I don't understand it. Even if it feels like this is not what I thought it would look like. I am telling you that the way my heart and life have been broken and opened up in the last year, I can't imagine that paying off my mortgage and getting to the next rank of Young Living would have done that. It really is about the person you will become. Will you become the person who can learn to live right where you are with deep appreciation, who can look around at your life and say, thank you for this. Thank you for this person. Thank you for this suffering. Thank you for this trial. Thank you for what you're doing. A deep, abiding appreciation of where you are. Because that is the place, you can get to that place. If you can get to the place where you can actually, and I want you to do that. I want you to just imagine your life. I want you to look around your life at the things that you thought were maybe wrong with it. And I want you to see it with new eyes. Instead of, I hate my body, I want to lose 50 pounds. What about if you looked at your body and said, what a miracle. I can get up and walk. I could go to the gym if I wanted to. I have so much to be thankful for this very body. What if you looked at your bank account that has 37 cents in it right now? And what if you said, thank you. Thank you. That no matter what, we get down to 37 cents and somehow we make it. Thank you. What if you looked at your marriage and instead of finding everything that's wrong with your spouse, what if you brainstormed everything you love about your life, about your spouse, about your marriage? I promise you that when you turn your brain on to the things in your life that you have to be grateful for, that you have to appreciate, it changes everything. It's not better there than here. It's not better having your mortgage paid off than here. It's not better 40 pounds away from here. Where it's better is where you decide to see your life for the miracle that it is. Where you decide to have a deep love and a deep appreciation for exactly where you are, with exactly the people you're with, in exactly the circumstances you're in. we have this tendency to think, well, if I could just change the circumstances, if I could just get that job, if I could just build my business, if I could just lose the weight, if I could just get better with money, we think it's going to be better there. It's not. It's better where you decide it's better, where you decide to live in profound appreciation and thankfulness for your life. That's where it's better. And from that place of abundance and love and deep appreciation, you can make lasting change because you're not doing it from a place of grasping, and you're not doing it with this striving of like, I'm going to show everybody, No, you're doing it from a place of love, and you're doing it so that when you get to the end of that journey, your capacity to serve and love is so much greater. God has done something miraculous in my heart this year. It looks to the world like things fell apart, and they didn't. He just rebuilt them in a different, beautiful way. He rebuilt me in a different, beautiful way, and I'm so grateful. So when I set my goals this year, first of all, I'm not going to look back and go, that was a failure. It wasn't a failure. It was a rearrangement. It was just different than I thought it would be. I can't wait to set some new goals and to figure out what I want my life to look like at the end of this, because I hope that at the end of 2020, I have a much greater capacity to see my life with appreciation. I hope I have a much greater capacity for love and service of my neighbor. And I hope that when I get to the end of the year, I can look back and I can see that every little thing was for my good. Every little thing. So, that's where we're starting, you guys. So if you came here going, yeah, I had a terrible year, and I'm not going to set any goals because I never can do that, I hope I've convinced you otherwise. I hope I've convinced you that your brain needs something to shoot for. It needs something to aim at. It needs something to take it out of its everyday negativity, everyday spinning, everyday doubting, everyday fearing, everyday living in the past. It needs something productive to do and to think about. You are God's crowning creation. You are beautiful and loved and adored, and you are enough exactly the way you are. You don't need to lose weight to do that. You don't need to get that great job to do that. You don't need to live in a fancy house. All you do is receive that. You just receive that, and from that place of love and abundance, anything is possible. I truly believe it. So, tomorrow, I'm going to be going live at noon. We're going to be talking about step 2, so I hope you'll join us for that. Remember, if you want to get the video replays and you want to get this handout that I'm creating for you that has all the notes so you don't have to take notes, go to yourbestbeautifulyear.com. Give us your email address. We will send you the replay to the videos each day. And also, when we get the PDF done, we will send you a link to that. I'm so glad you joined us today. I can't wait for tomorrow. I also wanted to let you know that we are opening up Life Mentoring School. That is my coaching program. So if you love this kind of teaching and you want to take it deeper and you want to really change your life and you want to be coached by me, we are opening my program up for the next few days. You just go to lifementoringschool.com. It's a monthly membership. This month in Life Mentoring School, we're talking all about self-confidence and how to believe new things. So we're diving deep kind of into a lot of the things we talked about today. Also, if you end up joining Life Mentoring School this week, you will get this course in your classroom for free. So we're going to turn this into a little mini course. You will get that for free. You also will get my course called Your Side Hustle, How to Grow Your Side Hustle for free. You'll get my oils course for free, and you'll get my new weight loss course. I'm doing adding videos every month into our weight loss course, so you get that one for free. So anyways, go to lifementoringschool.com if you're interested in joining us for that. If you want to download and get the replays of the videos from this week and download the PDF that we are creating, you go to yourbestbeautifulyear.com. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow at noon, you guys. Have a great day.